Hi everybody, I want to share this while it's fresh on my mind. How to stop the arguments. This is basically the holy grail of all that is the holy grail of dealing with a narcissist. How do you get them to shut up? Here's your answer. Now remember this. I'm going to say this slowly. Narcissists do not shut up until after you shut up. And trust me, it is hard because they are very, very good at pushing buttons and triggering. That's what they do. So if you want the narcissist to shut up, to do that, you have to stop speaking. And like I said, that's hard, but it works. Here's how it works. To a narcissist, arguing is a game. That's the water they swim in. I see it all the time on another app called Nextdoor. I've got, I guess he's a cerebral narcissist, where everybody that posts anything ever about neighbors, he gets on there and tries to get into a debate of logic. He always copies and pastes what people say and then addresses everything individually. And every single person that says anything, he replies with quotes, right? So it's very, very exhausting. Once this dude shows up, the thread is dead, and I mute it, right? So, and as I've said in other games, it's because they want the fight. They don't want anything except for the fight, which is why they lie, which is why they don't care about being wrong. They really don't. You care about them being wrong because you're right. They don't give a shit because they're getting what they want. They want the fight. They could care less if they're right or wrong. They're just having fun with a toy. You are like an app for them. A game where it's poke the empath, right? Ping, 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 Just imagine a game and you got somebody sitting there playing the game, poking the impact, That's what it is for them. And so when you go quiet, it's very much like the game freezing. So think like Super Mario Brothers. Can you imagine if you're at the end of a level in Super Mario Brothers and you climb the little pyramid and then you try to run and jump and hit the flag, and in midair the game pauses? Oh, son, that's some, that'll start a war. That right there, right? Now, on the other hand, imagine again, if you're jumping, Mario jumping off the pyramid, going to the flag, and then somebody reaches over and turns the power off. Oh man, that gets under your skin, right? So now imagine that same effect ruining the game for somebody, which is what you're gonna do. You're going to give one or two gray rock responses, and you'll recognize it when you're getting pissed off. Know right away that immediately you're going to be pissed off, if not by the first message, for sure by the second one. So the second your little notification goes off, ting, new message from Narc, you're going to be pissed off, and you got to be prepared for that. This cannot work if you do not recognize beforehand that you're going to be pissed, because you have to function through your anger for this to work. It's very difficult. It takes some practice. It takes training. It takes some Jedi mental skills, but you get it. You give one or two gray rock responses, and then just when they think that they've got the argument coming, you go quiet. And oh man, they get furious. And they send serial message after message after message, just laying the crazy out all over the table, just spraying you crazy. And it's hilarious because eventually everybody with an IQ higher than a plant at some point realizes that I need to shut up because I either sound crazy or I'm going to go crazy, and I'm going crazy, and I got to quit. I can't do this. Right? And eventually they just shrivel up and they go into what I call power save. You know, like Inspector Gadget, you know, what's his face, the claw, where he's like, I'll get you next time, Inspector Gadget. I'll get you next time. You know, I got mind control over Debo. I'll get you next time, you know. That's what they do. And then they disengage and they quit. You know, another funny example that I love to give is, once you go quiet and you get this little spattering of messages, it goes downhill in enthusiasm. It's a lot like, picture a hamster running in a wheel, and we've all seen this where the hamster gets overly excited, trips and falls, and now the wheel is spinning and the hamster's rolling, and they come to a rolling stop. They're bouncing like dum dum boom 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 boom. Right? They stop. So the wheel's still spinning, but the hamster ain't running. That's the effect that going silent after the first or second message has. Do not go past a second message. Absolutely do not. If you make it to the third message, then you've lost your advantage. You've lost your advantage because with every message, they're going to push more buttons, and there's a certain point that you have to recognize that you're trying to keep your own anger down and your own engagement down, and you've got your own day to protect. So the more you perpetuate this, the worse your day is gonna be, because it's still gonna eat at you, because they know how to push your buttons, and you've given them opportunities to push even more. Me personally, I don't like having my buttons pushed more than twice. I don't know how many times you like having your buttons pushed. Personally, not at all. But when it comes to messaging with a narc, you are never looking at fewer than twice. So just remember that. For every message you get from a narc, you're looking at a minimum of being triggered twice and having your buttons pushed twice. This is, of course, if you're doing gray rock, right? I mean, if you just do no contact, then they're just going to sit there and yap, 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 and then go away, right? But in any case, you're always looking at a minimum of being triggered twice. So you need to be ready for that. You need to be prepared to function through your whatever dimension of pissed off you've been spun into. You've got to keep your wit about you. You give one single reply. In the very rare occasion, a second one. But if you do that, then you've opened the door for round 3 of button pushing. Because you haven't pushed any of their buttons yet. They've pushed your buttons 3 times. And the only way to push their button is by not pushing a damn thing. You're the game. You're not the controller. They're the controller. You're the game. So freeze up. Power out. Crash. Quit. You're their entertainment. When you don't function, when you don't provide the game, when you don't provide the entertainment, they get pissed off, they throw their controller, and they walk away like a petulant little kid. Right? Now, if all of this isn't enough, let me give you one more good reason to do this. And that's this. Especially if you're stuck with a narcissist and there's children involved. Okay? If you haven't discovered by now, the vast majority of electronic messages are not court admissible. Because, well, for one, a judge really just doesn't want to hear about your interpersonal bullshit, period. They don't care about your drama. They really do not care about your bullshit. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to read it. They don't want to do a damn thing. So, think about this for a second. If you're putting some reading material in front of somebody that doesn't want to read it, you have to make it so that it draws them in right away. How do you do that? By not responding and by getting those serial crazy messages, because that is concentrated crazy. That is crazy straight from concentrate, straight from the can. You know, if you put one reply and then there's a whole smattering of crazy shit, and it's like that with every single conversation, a judge doesn't even have to read anything. He can just look at the placement of the speech bubbles and see where it's like dot dot over and over and over and over again. And you'd be like, okay, who's on the crazy side? They are. Okay, well, then they're crazy, and I'm going to rule for the sane person. But judges don't like to rule on your personal bullshit. They really don't. It's very rare. They're more likely to send you to mediation. But even when you're in mediation, one of the factors is what would happen if this goes in front of the judge, you know? So when you're working stuff out, the incentive to come to an agreement is if you don't, then it's going to go in front of a judge who doesn't want to read your bullshit. And that's scary because they're not going to read your bullshit. They're going to flip a coin and just fucking decide something. Because they're not trying to get sucked into your drama. They got bigger cases to hear. Things about, you know, rape, abuse, neglect, molestation, you know, all of these things. The vast majority, unfortunately for us, is narcissistic abuse, emotional abuse. When you participate, it just looks like an argument. You both look crazy. You and your narc. And narcs bank on this. They put they bet all their chips on the fact that they can make you look so crazy that you look just as crazy as them. And when that happens, you both look the same. And to any judge who's being presented some shit he doesn't want to read, and he sees a lot of back and forth speech bubbles, you know, be short, long, short, long, really, really long, short, fuck you, Hitler, Trump, you know. He's not going to care. He will care if he sees a page where it's like, you know, bubble, or even just that effect, and there's just one side of the conversation without anything on the other except for a okay or sorry you feel that way. But the more replies you put, keep in mind, even when you're gray rocking, having a gray rock response for every single speech bubble, the back and the forth, then it just looks like you're placating or being patronizing, right? Okay, sorry you feel that way. Well, that sucks. Sorry about that. Sorry to hear that. Well, I wish you the best. Okay. These are worthless replies. They're worthless replies. They don't add any value. They steal value away in the fact that you're just putting more speech bubbles on there, and at that point, you're a willing participant and you're egging it on because it looks like you're deliberately withholding an answer. More so than if it's just quiet, because you can always fill in the gaps with that one. I mean, my phone was on silent. I mean, my phone, I was away from my phone. Like, I mean, I just sent one reply. I mean, look at the timestamps. I was on my way to the bathroom. I just typed a simple reply, and then, you know what, I had Taco Bell. So, I mean, I was committed for quite some time. You know, I put a seatbelt on my toilet, keep me strapped in. Yeah, Taco Bell, fucking A. So, anyways, I'm out of time. Thank you very much for listening. Please like, comment, or share. We'll see you on the next video. If any of you have ever tried this before, or seen this, or done this, or more importantly, if this doesn't work, if you've tried this and it hasn't worked, I want to find out why. Because if this is bad advice, by all means, somebody tell me, and I can yank this off the channel, or I can put some sort of addendum or update on it and steer people straight. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you on another video.